What's up, boys and girls? Coach Neek here. It's been a little while, but let's answer some questions. Is it possible to keep the gains you make from your first cycle? This will be dependent on how your cycle is structured, the drugs you've taken, and how you've taken them. For example, if you take an oral-only cycle, you're less likely to keep most of your gains after your first cycle, especially if you're not very heavily muscled or you are heavily muscled. That will also change how much you can take gaining and keeping. I'm going to just quickly run through a few different scenarios. First one, oral only, relatively new lifter. You will keep probably 50 to 70% of your gains. However, if you're a new lifter, you're probably not going to be on point. So over the weeks and months after your cycle, you're probably going to slowly lose mass and slowly lose your gains simply because you're not working out and eating correctly. Let's say you are now on a injectable cycle and you have done 16 weeks testosterone only. You're more likely to keep what you've gained simply because it's gone on for longer. You got to remember, when it comes to muscle accrual and myonuclear donation, basically building new muscle fibers, they are more susceptible to atrophy when they are new. If they've been there for a longer period of time, you're less likely to lose it. This is essentially, you can see it in, like, say, farmer strength. Men who haven't particularly done resistance training, but they have slowly accrued their muscle over long periods of time. When they're old, like 60 and 70, they're still hard as nails, they're still strong. And that's because they've had it over a long period of time, and those muscle fibers had a long time to settle in and basically become permanent, to a degree. So when you're taking PEDs and you've only been on for 16, 12, 20 weeks, whatever, those muscle fibers are more susceptible to degradation, to wasting away. And this is why people lose their gains when they come off cycle, because they come from a place from when they are in a pro anabolic state where they're gaining muscle and keeping muscle very easily, depending if, say, a deficit or a surplus in calories. So when then you come off and you're no longer in a pro building state, you're more like in a wasting state, it's very difficult for your body to go, no, we're going to keep those muscles. It's why oftentimes you see guys who do injectable cycles, they'll do their blast and then they'll go down to like a maintenance dose before coming off completely. That's if they do a post-cycle therapy. But again, that's the reason why blasting and cruising has become more popular in recent years, because it's easier to maintain the mass you make on those cycles. So all this to say is it's heavily dependent, and like everything in life, it's going to depend on what you do, how you do it, how long you do it, and also how good your diet and training is after your cycle. The more intensely you train, if you don't diet after finishing your cycle and you do keep on top of your diet, then you are more likely to keep what you've got. It's a very long-winded answer, but it's multifaceted. I hope this helps. I'll start trying to do more videos. Coach Neek out.